Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Virtual Golf Show 2020. In fact, it's actually the inaugural Virtual Golf Show. We thought, hey, we can do something this side of Christmas to make golf that little bit better. It's been a tricky year, hasn't it, for everybody, but we're going to try and end the year with a smile or two, a laugh or two, and hopefully a few bits of breaking news for everybody in the world of golf. I am Ian Waterhouse from Content Live Golf. I will be guiding you through the show for the next 2 days. Of course, we've got 4 sessions in total starting today, Thursday morning. Up first, we will have a very, very special guest. I will reveal all very, very shortly. But look, hey, let me just tell you what we've got coming up over the next 2 days, because boy, oh boy, do we have a feast of golf for you. Yes, we've got the 2020 Pro Tour coming up. We've got Golfing Herald coming up. We've got Sports Alive. We've got Aaron Cox and the Blackwell Grange Junior Academy. We've got the Legends Tour. How exciting is that? We've got National Club Golfer coming on. We've got Paul Hemlin from the Golf Show. We've got Matthew Faldo as well from Faldo Series. He will be on the show. We've got Harriet Shepherd from Women in Golf magazine. We're going to get a good insight into women's golf. And straight after that, we'll have Emily Slater as well. We've got Golf Hubber, Clutch Pro Tour, Golfing Day. So much to feast your eyes on over the next couple of days here on the Virtual Golf Show. So look, first up today, we're going to be joined by 2 very good friends of ours. It's going to be Chris Hanson and Adam Walker from the 2020 Pro Tour. And of course, we spent a lot of time live streaming with the 2020 Pro Tour this year. It's been a wonderful year. Before I bring them in, I'll just give you a little recap of our year with the 2020 Pro Tour and Content Live. Wow, what a fantastic introduction that is. And here they are, Chris Hanson and Adam Walker from the 2020 Pro Tour. Gentlemen, you're looking as fine as ever. Chris, let's start with you. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, thank you, mate. I'm very good. Yeah, been a bit of time at home, but plenty of time to do stuff, spend it with the family, and now we're a little bit out of some sort of lockdown. We get the clubs back out as well.
Well, for the next week or so, anyway. Yeah, Adam, looking very festive there. Look, nice Christmas tree. Did you do that, or did
I thought you were about my Santa beard.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, yeah, I did. Are you well? Are you good?
Yeah, it's been. It's not been too bad. I think just now we're coming back into what feels like the norm. Now everyone's playing golf, which is good. Yeah, looking forward to seeing what happens next season.
Yeah, definitely. Look, we're going to touch on next season very shortly because obviously we want to look ahead. We want to look to the future. We can't ignore what's happened this year. We don't want to dwell on it too much, but we do want to reflect on the 2020 Pro Tour in 2020 because, guys, what a year it's been. Adam, did you expect it to... Well, we didn't expect COVID to happen, but even despite that, what a season you guys have had. Has it defied your expectations?
It really has. It really has. To say that me and Chris had this idea, the year before last, and we went ahead with it, and people know the story. I was caddying from Madrid, and one thing led to another, and we cracked on, launched the tour, and yeah, for it to get to the point where it's been, we've had over 1 million views. It just seems ridiculous. But again, it's only thanks to the players who played and sponsors that it's been able to happen like that. It's unbelievable.
It really is. It's the players, isn't it? Chris, quick question for you: Is Adam any good as a caddy? By the way,
no.
To be fair, we do have a good record. To be fair, I think we've probably only missed one cut in about 15 events. So yeah, he's not bad. Company's pretty average, but caddy skills are not bad. It's
just a shame when you play together in the Sunningdale Foursomes, hey? But anyway, less said about that, the better. Chris, let's come to you. Let's ask the same question, really. I mean, look, did you really know what to expect when heading into 2020 with the tour? Is it bigger, better than you thought it would be, or has it kind of, yes, lots to progress, but happy with the way it's gone?
Yeah, I guess the idea came about, and it was like, oh, it's going to be a bit of a glorified roll-up. Like, lads and lasses are going to turn up, throw a few quid in and play, and it'll give them something to play for. But it ended up being a mini European tour in the north of England. It felt like, people pitched up and it felt like they were at an event. Everything didn't quite go to plan. We had like physios complimentary for players at events all year, and obviously that ended up being scrapped. But just things like that. We spoke to golf clubs about having sort of players' lounges and just making it a real tour feel. But it still maintained that, and especially after the first lockdown when we were straight at Cleckheaton, and there was quite a few tour players actually playing, and ITV came, yourself was there, BBC were there, Sky News were there. Do you know what I mean? It was not what
all the little broadcasters, etc.
Yeah. So yeah, it totally was above what we expected. But I guess between us, we had the experience to create something as well, and we went with it.
Yeah, I have to say, when me and Chris were talking back in Madrid, and we decided to go down the mixed gender route, because it was never done with an equitable policy before. So when we launched it mixed gender with this minimum 11% equitable policy,
as a full season.
Yeah, as full season, we didn't know how it would catch on. We know it had been done on the European Tour and Challenge Tour and the Victoria Open in Australia for a single event, but over a season long, we were the first to do it, and we were overwhelmed with how it got taken through different, like on social media, the interaction was unbelievable, and we want to give equal opportunities to both ladies and females, and it's good to see that other tours have followed suit. So yeah, we feel like we've done a good deed for everyone, just golfers in general.
Trendsetters, huh? That's what you guys are.
And Ian, and the first ones to do content live as well.
Yeah.
So
very true. Well, actually, I must thank you guys because you guys gave us a shot. We brought this idea over from motorsport, wanted to bring it into golf. let's be honest, we weren't sure how it was going to be received. We didn't know how players were going to react to us, but they were fantastic. Every single player was fantastic, and you guys have been a massive part of our growth, and we can't thank you enough.
I remember getting the email from you and thinking, who's this guy wanting to film mini tour golf? And then I was like, I'll speak to him. So
Chris just said, reply to the email, get him to meet us at Sunningdale, and have him. He can buy a few beers for us. A few beers.
I was like, I'll speak to this guy. He's like, guys, I want to film the golf. I'm like, this sounds a bit cool. Like, all of a sudden, we were like, away we went, Crossland Heath. And,
well, speaking of Crossland Heath, you remember this, guys? This was before, look at that, before lockdown. Look how happy we all were. We had no idea it was about to land on us, did we then?
No. I'd say that was when I was thin before lockdown, but I couldn't say that, can I? Look at that picture.
Well, look, that was the start of the year, wasn't it? That was Crossland Heath. You mentioned Cleckheaton. I mean, the amount of events that you guys had in the end. You even had a winter series, didn't you, planned? Unfortunately, obviously, that had to be cancelled due to obvious reasons, but a lot of work must have gone into that. But let's talk 2021, shall we, guys? And now I'm going to bring up the schedule here. I don't know if people can read this okay. It's quite small to have a look at here. Do go to the 2020 Pro Tour website, 2020protour.co.uk. You can get a blown up full schedule of the 2021 schedule. Go to their social media channels as well. Wow, that's jam-packed, guys, isn't it? What a fantastic roster you've got there.
It's busy, isn't it? Yeah.
It's good. It's back to the original plan of being Mondays. The tour is a one-day event, obviously, and it's a Monday, so it runs in with golf clubs being relatively quiet on a Mondays. PGA pros can play, assistant pros can play, people playing Euro Pro can still play, Challenge Tour, Main Tour, they can all play Mondays. Travel to events, if they miss a cut, they come home early and they can play, and it's obviously been something. But we try and make it affordable for players. So back to Mondays is great, and that was the plan last year. It got a bit busy towards the end of last year, doing some weeks of Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, or Wednesday, Fridays, Mondays. But one a week is pretty good for a lot of players. So hopefully, we've got some new incentives in place, like people getting on board with ordering merit prizes and things. So hopefully, it'll look forward to being a fantastic year.
Yep. It looks like a lot of work, guys, but the clubs have been fantastic as well, isn't it? Is it quite easy to get? Has it been a bit easier this year to get the clubs on board, sort of selling them the idea of what it is, as opposed to sort of the year before when it was cold, essentially, wasn't it? You have to pitch from cold.
Yes, certainly. Yeah, we've been inundated with requests from golf clubs, and it's been really hard to say no to some of them. We'd got the schedule pretty much nailed on. And we couldn't fit Rotherham in on a Monday. And, it's one of the best venues in Yorkshire. We're there for a winter event, but we just couldn't shuffle it. We ought to stick to Mondays, so it's a real shame at the moment to not be able to go there in the summer. But we're at some other fantastic venues. And some courses have come on board and are so supportive. They want to really get their course on the map, be seen and get some good quality players there, get some course records broken. So it's going to be cool. Yeah, the schedule's looking brilliant.
So if anybody wants to play, is this open to amateurs as well? Is that right?
Go on, Ads.
Yep. So we have an amateur schedule. I don't know if you can bring that up, but we've got 17.
I can't, unfortunately.
We've got 17 events that run in line on the same day as the tour itself. And we're going to sell it as a tour experience, so you still get the major starting you off. You still get pictures. You get the drinks on the tee provided by Wow. So it does feel like a tour experience for the players. Like you'll be there videoing them, and it'll be a really good experience for them. Yeah.
But then there's obviously the amateurs. That's amateurs from 6 handicap upwards. Then obviously the 2020 Pro Tour still has the next year. The Category 1 players can play within the Pro tournament. So that's at every single event, whereas the Tour experience is just through at 17 events. But yeah, no, we tested it last year and we had a great response. We had 73, I think, play at Wheatley, and it was brilliant. People loved it. So why not? There's a lot of people who want to feel like a tour player, and they might never get anywhere near that as a golfer, but to experience that's hopefully something.
I wouldn't even get close to 6, I don't think.
Hopefully something that we can provide there.
So is that one of the major developments for next year then, is sort of pushing the amateur side? There's going to be a few more. Well, I've seen the schedule. It's big. And by the way, if anybody wants a copy of that schedule, just comment below now, wherever you're watching this, whichever page you're watching this from. We will go back through them and I'll hand your details over to the boys and they'll get in touch and send you over the schedule. Or just visit www.2020protour.co.uk and the guys can get you that sent over. So, so developments for next year. Is that kind of a major development for next year?
Not, I wouldn't say. We'd never say we've got a perfect tour. It's always a work in progress. So we'd never say it's never going to be how we really want it to be. We want to push. We just want to be a really good value, fully inclusive golf tour. So next season again, we're pushing for. We've obviously got your men's tees. You've got your ladies' tees at minimum 11%. We're also going to have a senior tees as well. So want to be inclusive to. The seniors have had a really bad season for their golf. They've not had anything to play on, but we want to be fair and include them as well. So hopefully we'll get a few bites on that and see how that goes as a progression for next year. Yeah,
definitely. That's a huge idea actually, and going forward that could be quite well. You guys are going to have 3 tours on the go all at one go, aren't you? Really, I don't know how you guys are never going to be at home. You're going to get any sleep. It's probably like that now, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Right, guys, I'm going to
really inclusive, yeah.
Yeah, go on. Sorry, Adam.
I'm just saying we really want to be just fully inclusive, and I've said it a few times. We want to be kind of like have a really good family feel. We want everyone to really thoroughly enjoy the day. Kind of just want to see everyone happy and playing well.
We'll talk about being inclusive. We know it's got an equitable policy. How was it received by the ladies playing?
Chris, do you want to go?
Yeah, no, it was received very, very well. They understood that it was very hard to do. It's never, you could say, it's never going to be fair equally. As much as we strive for it, it might end up being a little bit. Because the golf courses we play aren't tournament set-up golf courses, so they're not taking a year to set these courses up. We're pitching up on a Monday morning, and they've had the Saturday medal on the Saturday, so it's not set up for a tournament golf. So there is a little bit of leeway, but I think the main feeling was that they really understood and appreciated that we were trying to make it as fair as possible. The first question we asked everybody when they came off the course was, were you happy with today's setup? Was it good? Where could we improve it? And that's the important thing for us. Where we wanted the player feedback all the time, and that was like our motto is putting the players first. So it's, are you happy? No. Well, why not? Like, let us know. What can we change? And some golf courses you can't really change. So there's times when a hole to the guys might seem really unfair to them, but if you look at the bigger picture, there's a lot of holes probably what are harder to make fair for the ladies. So I think that was the harder thing. It was probably maybe getting some of the guys on side. But I would say there was no complaints, was there? Really?
No. Well, there were no complaints. Again, it's like Chris said, it's constantly going to be a work in progress, and you'll never get it perfect. But as long as everyone understands that we're genuinely trying to make it as fair as possible, then we'll do all right.
And trying to provide as more and as much playing opportunities as possible for people.
For sure.
Well, I mean this in the best possible way, and I hope you take it as a compliment. You would have had no idea that it was the first year of the 2020 Pro Tour, in a sense of how well it was run. And obviously, Chris, we know Sue, what a sterling job she did, the major as well on the tee. I mean, absolutely fantastic stuff. Let's just have a quick reflect, shall we? Chris, what was your funniest moment of 2020 on the 2020 Pro Tour?
You mentioned this. Adam, you might have to go first. The funniest
Go on then, Adam.
The funniest moment for me.
I can't think of a funniest moment yet. One of the most memorable things about the tour was when we set it up, we had Abigail Taylor message us before the season had started at 14 years of old, junior captain at Headingley, saying, I'm off 6 handicap. I cannot wait to get to 4 handicap to play on the tour. at 14 years of old. And that was the whole idea, was getting everybody involved, ladies, men, juniors, get them all playing for the same prize money. And then it came around to Cleckheaton, and she got a handicap down, and she played with Carly Booth in the group in front, Megan McLaren in the group behind, with Marcus Armitage and Jamie Donaldson between them. And she was 14 years old, 4 handicapper, had been playing junior opens, and all of a sudden she was thrown into a tour event.
Yeah. And to be fair to her, she was stood on the first tee with ITV, Sky News, BBC, Content Live.
Yeah.
And she did the first hole.
Yeah. Unbelievable, and totally embraced it. And that was kind of, for me, obviously not the funniest moment, but one of the most rewarding and memorable moments.
Yeah. Adam, come on then. Let's have your fun, because you guys played quite a few of the events as well, didn't you, Adam? Did you do any shanks?
No, I did nothing but stripe it, nothing but in the middle of the club face. So I played 4 events. I had 2 top 10s and 2 NRs, so it's either good or really bad.
I'll tell you quite an amusing moment for me. So at one of the venues I was playing, I don't know if I should say the venue, but the weather was horrendous, and it was when we were having volunteers attending the flags, and we had 14 volunteers for 18 holes, so they were doubling up, and the weather was that bad they just disappeared. So it caused us a load of grief from players.
I think I was there that day. That day. But
then to watch Adam running backwards and forwards from the 15th to the 18th, raking bunkers, attending flags, and then running back and doing scoring was. I remember coming down 18 and thinking, "What's he doing?" I'm casually just enjoying my round and seeing him running around like a headless chicken. It was priceless.
Oh, yeah.
Took one for the team there. Took one for the team there. Yeah.
I'm sure I offered to help Adam, but I was probably eating a bacon sandwich or something,
Probably.
Another sort of probably a highlight. I know I'm going off on one here, but the amount of volunteers we had, not just volunteers at each event, club members, but like the major, like my mum, Mark Jessup, Dave Rishworth, Suke, referees, like my brother and my nephew George would come whenever they can, just to help bring team markers in. Just we've probably had a team of 10 volunteers. Like Andy Crook, incredible, drives up from Swindon to do the photography for us, and plenty of other photographers as well, who helped out throughout the year. But yeah, just they obviously liked what the tour was about, and wanted to see it do well.
Absolutely. Well, look, we're heading into 2021 very, very soon. It's almost time to get underway. Membership is open. Is that right, for next season?
Yeah. Membership's open. Members are flocking in, which is great. It's you don't know how the second year is going to go, obviously, but with some good feedback last year, the people are keen to play again, and I think I'd like to think it's going to be another busy year, and again create lots of opportunities for these players in and around the other tours they play.
Yeah. Definitely. Now, was there something you guys wanted to mention, Adam? You mentioned something that you wanted to say.
No, it's done. It's fine.
It's done. Okay, well, look, in that case, guys, what a pleasure it's been to have you on. Thanks for being the first guest, actually, the first ever guest, by the way, on the virtual golf show. Hopefully, a bit like you guys, we might get to a second show next year. Who knows? But to play out, I'm just going to play the highlights of the 2020 Pro Tour from the year. So, Chris Hanson, Adam Walker, thank you so much for your time, and we'll speak very, very soon.
Brilliant.
Pleasure,
Ian. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Crossland Heath Golf Club. We couldn't be more happy to be here live with the 2020 Pro Tour. It's the first event, it's the very first day, and what a beautiful day we've got.
Just saying, it's been a lot of hard work for sort of 3-4 months, and obviously with the delays we had with the weather 3 or 4 weeks ago, it's nice to finally get it going on a fantastic day like this.
Absolutely stunning, isn't it?
Chaps, how we doing?
Yeah, great. Yeah, it's great to speak to you again, Ian. Hope you're keeping well down there. Obviously, a shame not to be out on the golf course when the weather's this good, but we're improvising and trying to keep everyone entertained.
Absolutely. Now, look, guys, let's get straight into the tour, shall we? That's what we're here to talk about. We've had a couple of events before everything kind of went onto lockdown. How's it gone for you guys so far?
Shall I go?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, well, again, I can speak on my behalf, but I think it's gone fantastic. Seem to get really good feedback from the players. Again, things like what you do for a scene is great. It's kind of like launched the tour to a different level. After only playing 2 events, it's been seen by, quote numbers, I think just over 18,000 views, which is kind of like mental, really. And it's, you know, we're over the moon and can't wait to see where we progress from here.
Adam, well, I don't know what to say. That's it.
Well, I just want to say a huge thank you to you guys. You know, you've been here for 10 events.
Yeah, 10
events, and hopefully, if this sector's gone well, we've reached 1 million views.
Well, I can confirm we have gone over the 1 million viewer mark for the 2020 Pro Tour in 2020. So,
which is, you know, it's incredible.
Stuff.
And me and Chris are so grateful to you guys and the work you put in, and hope you go on to bigger and better things.
Well, hey, look.
Hopefully with a bit of 2020 tour in between as well.
We feel very at home at 2020 Pro Tour. And that is it. That is actually a wrap here from Huddersfield Golf Club. And that's a wrap for the 2020 Pro Tour. Shall I say the summer swing, though? Because there is a winter season coming up as well.
Winter series.
Big congratulations, of course, to Nick McCarthy. He's the Order of Merit champion. Nicholas Popson ran the whole way, though. It was late drama in the day here at Huddersfield Golf Club. Unfortunately, Nick couldn't quite get over the line. But that is a wrap from the 2020 Pro Tour from us, anyway, in 2020. And who knows, we might see you again in 2021.
Yeah. Thank you for watching, guys. See you next year.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Paul, and this is The Golf Show. goes. I can try it like that. That's even worse. I can try it as a snood, or I can try it like that.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I think 30 to 40 seconds might be a bit optimistic for me right now, but I feel a bit like Jeremy Clarkson when he did direct view of that Vauxhall Vectra that time. No, seriously, what am I meant to say?
Absolutely, and to illustrate the weight of the golf bag, as Phil said there, 10 to 12 kilograms, which is the equivalent of not 2, not 4, but 6 2-litre bottles of Coke. But as you can see there, got a little hole in that one already after just 4 rounds.
Oh, it's looking good. We've got a big club twirl.
Come on.
Here we go.
Oh!
4'10" when the pressure matters.
Yeah, look at my sock. You know, you can probably wring water out of it.
Oh, it's a beauty.
I'll take that one. I know I had a... Leave it on me then.
I was going to need a new camera. That was mega. Sorry, I thought you finished. Sorry.
Right, hello everybody and welcome back to the Virtual Golf Show 2020. And wasn't that a treat catching up with Chris and Adam from the 2020 Pro Tour? In fact, it's always a treat catching up to them. But we have another treat for you now because I'm joined by the incredibly talented wordsmith of Paul Fowler from Golfing Herald. Paul, what a pleasure to have you on. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And yourself, Ian? How's it going?
It's going well. Yeah, it's been a busy couple of weeks trying to do something. You know, we're just trying to bring a bit of a smile to end the year in what has probably been golf industry's hardest ever year. I would hazard a guess.
Well, I think it's been putting golf to one side. I think it's just been our toughest year all around, hasn't it? For a number of reasons, a number of factors, particularly the global pandemic. But as you say, you've got to keep smiling, keep trying to live life to full within the And that applies to golf as well, doesn't it? It applies to golf as well. So.
It does. And talking of that, it's something you've been doing, isn't it? For those not au fait with golfing, Herald, please, would you care to just explain a little bit about it?
Okay, well, it seemed a good 2.5 years ago. It seemed a really good idea, Ian. How it started was I've worked in the corporate world for about almost 35 years, and I just looked at my wife one day, so I can't do this anymore. I just burnt out. So I didn't, you're too long retired, and I think it's a slippery slope. So I started with a blank piece of paper, and I thought, okay, what shall I do? My whole career has been sort of using the left-hand side of the brain, so I thought, let's do something creative, make a good job, and let's combine it with my passion for golf. So I thought, all right, let's start a golf blog. Seemed a great idea, but so effectively from summer 2018, I sort of built the website, and that was very much like a house with no furniture. Yeah. I had no articles. So I went live December 2018, and my flagship series I thought was called Meet the Professional, because there was no one, from what I could see, not like interviewing your Rory McIlroys and your Tiger Woods, but I'm talking your club professionals. Yeah. Not just in the UK, but around the world, who effectively are the blood supply of our great game. So I wrote to a professional called Richard Pace, who was at Beverley Golf Club at the time, and he's only just moved. Explained who I was, and he said what I was trying to do, and he said, "Oh, come along." We had a game of golf. He thankfully didn't comment on my game, and we had, I interviewed him over lunch, and big cliche, but the rest of the say is history. So that's how it really started. So I went live, December 2018 with a bespoke website, and it's really been about building the brand and writing articles, really.
You talk about Meet the Professional there, actually, and yes. I've been reading your articles. Do check it out, by the way, if you are watching this right now, golfingherald.com. It's scrolling along the bottom. Do go check it out, because it is a cracker. There's so many great articles on there. Meet the Professional section as well. There's a number of pros that I've worked with. Had the pleasure of working with this year of our live stream, and Aaron Cox is on there. I know Thomas Devine. I did a bit of work with as well, and of course the chap we've just been talking to, Chris Hanson. You've done some work with Hanson.
Yeah. So I went. So on there wasn't really part of Meet the Pro. I went to meet Chris over in Huddersfield Golf Club. I think it was either January, February this year, and it was lovely sunny when I set off. And it was really just to chat to Chris about what his thoughts were about the 2020 Pro Tour, because obviously it hadn't actually started then. And it was a lovely sunny day, and I got within about 5 minutes of Huddersfield Golf Club where Chris was, and the weather gods opened, it started snowing. Oh. So we got there, the course was closed. But no, it was great. Chris was absolutely fantastic, and I've obviously met Adam as well. But we had a great chat, and it was one of my better articles. Been really well received about the 2020 Pro Tour. But obviously, the plans they had in place back in February, COVID wasn't even around then, was it? So, and obviously you've had to adapt as well through your coverage. But no, really, it was good fun, and they've done really, really well this year, really well, and obviously supported by your good self, covering some of the events live on via Facebook. I think it's been a great success. So that was a fun article to interview Chris and to publish.
Now, there's all sorts of articles up there, isn't there? There's stories up there. There's such a in-depth view of golf. It really is an absolute treat. My question to you, Paul, and I have a feeling you might know this one's coming. What's been your favourite article? You just mentioned how exciting it was to get with Chris Hanson. Yeah. That was a great article. What's been your favourite article?
Oh gosh, I don't want to upset anyone that I've interviewed. I think my favourite article is probably the one I published early December. Probably the last article I published. It was around it. Depends how much you want to give me away. It'd be great if people could read the story. But it was about. I think it was really tough and emotional because I knew the ending.
Right.
And so the first article where I'd actually started knowing the ending. So it was about a guy called James Douglas Edgar, who sadly he's fallen off the golfing radar. He was an English professional golfer. He was a fellow Novocastrian, a fellow Geordie like myself. And I think he was born about 1884, so you're talking like late 19th century. Tough upbringing in the East End of Newcastle. But he turned pro at a very young age. And he was one of these professionals who, at the time, they made golf clubs, gave lessons.
There he is, isn't he? There he is. That is the man himself.
And you can just tell from that middle image there you've put up, Ian. He was a bit of a character, should we say?
He looks funny. There's a little smirk there, isn't there?
There is, and we'll come on to that smirk in a second. But basically, he was one of these golfers who was a late developer. He was very good in sort of one-day competitions, breaking lots of course records, but he didn't quite cut the mustard in the 72 hole. But eventually, he found a way to win, and he won in 1914. He won the French Open. But then a month later, obviously, World War I started. Now it was an open, going back to his smirk, it was an open secret that he was a bit of a ladies' man, with the lady members, and he liked to drink and he liked to gamble. And sadly, there was a partner of the ways from the club he'd represented for 15, 16 years. And so at the end of the First World War, he decided to seek his fortune in America. And his career just took off. He won the Canadian Open in 1919, a competition that, say, Rory McIlroy won 100 years later, and it's still the record score. He won by 16 shots. It's a record 16 shots. But he was also a very good coach. So he was coaching a very young Bobby Jones. So a lot of your viewers today and tomorrow will know that Bobby Jones potentially was the greatest amateur golfer, maybe the greatest golfer of all time. Yeah. And he coached him. And then he won the Canadian Open again. He won a few other big tournaments in 1920. And at the time, although he was now in his early 30s, his peers thought he was going to be potentially the greatest golfer of all time. Wow. And yet the following year, he was found in a pool of blood. And there's various conspiracy theories, but potentially it was a contract killing.
Nobody knows. Nobody actually still knows today.
Yeah, it still knows today. So obviously, I knew the ending, and so it was quite an emotional article to both. The more I researched, the more I found, and I'm sure you can relate to this. Scene. You leave a lot on the cutting room floor, and it's what you can, when you edit something. But no, it was just, it was just a really great article to research and to write, and I've had some really, really good feedback both in the UK, in America, and in Canada, and from Canada. So yeah, wow. It was So where do I go next? How do I read that? So.
Well, that's fantastic. Do go read that article as well. Just remember, golfingherald.com. It is scrolling on the bottom. If anybody's got a question for Paul as well, please do comment below. We do look at the comments, and Paul or myself will respond to them as soon as we get a chance as well. So please do like, comment, and share. We do get back to you, so that would be great. Now, Paul, there's a lot on the website, as I've said before, isn't there? You're also active on social media, Twitter and Instagram as well, particularly. Do you do it all yourself, or do you have contributors writing in as well?
No, I do. Most of the articles are self-penned, but I have been really fortunate in that I've managed to get quite a few articles from what we'll call guest authors. And those guest authors really could either be a total novice or an experienced, individual who's written for the, periodicals or whatever, but also I've published articles from organisations, from golf companies. So at any time, if anyone who's watching this would like to, has ever thought they need a platform where they could have an article published, more than happy to do it, and there'll be absolutely no charge. That I'm more than happy to promote. It's about promoting golf, really. I've been really lucky. I think probably my favorite article I've published from a guest author was from, believe it or not, he's an Englishman in New York. That was that song by Sting, wasn't it? I think.
No, unfortunately, Paul, I can't claim to know that one.
I'm showing my age now, Ian. Sorry. Yeah, it's a really nice guy who's probably one of the leading in golf circles, one of maybe the leading golf historians. And we caught up. He lives in Manhattan, and we had a Skype. And he took the camera around his apartment in Manhattan to show me all the golf memorabilia. And this picture came up on the wall, an original artwork called "Beware the Quicksands of Perfection."
Well, fortunately, before you carry on, I've got a picture of it right here.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one. So that is an original. It's a modern piece of artwork, but it's trying to depict a scene from the 1925 British Open. So the golfiana is a guy called Peter Schraef, he's based out in say New York. And he's done a few articles for me, and this one was around the British Open in 1925, a true story about a golfer who you can see there in the foreground called McDonald Smith, and there was a very sort of unlike today. You know how today the galleries are well controlled when we do have crap. Back in the day, should we say, some of them maybe were worse for drink, and so the galleries were uncontrolled. So. The story is very much around McDonald Smith, who went into the fourth round trying to win that first elusive major. And he was 5 or 6 shots ahead. And then all of a sudden, the sort of the quicksands sort of his game unraveled. And I think he lost out about 1 or 2 shots. But I think it's a really, it's a true story. And as I say, Peter's got a lovely narrative style. So again, it's only maybe less than 1,000 words, but a really entertaining true story.
Wow, that is fantastic, and it looks great as well. I love stories like that. There's a lot of hidden gems in golf, isn't there, that doesn't get told these days. Really, there's so much history to the game, and of course, the modern game now. I mean, it's sensational, isn't it? Because you do cover that as well. There's an article about Bryson DeChambeau, isn't there? So
that's right.
You do get a mix in there.
That's right. I mean, that was, I don't tend to do much on sort of the modern game, but that was a different, again, I think it's really about trying something different. So that was really most of the work I do when going back to my interview with Chris, I'll prepare for it. I'll have a few questions and we'll see where the conversation goes. But the article I did on Bryson DeChambeau was with a guy called Sam Vickers, who works at he's based at the England National Golf Academy in Woodhall Spa. And he's a very, very good, he's a performance coach. And we just decided one day to just have a chat with no script. You just thought, let's just see. And it never started off to talk about Bryson DeChambeau. That's just the way the conversation went. And that was good fun. It was really good fun. Sometimes you've just got to try different things. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't, but thankfully that one worked.
Well, Paul, I'm going to test you on your open-mindedness here because you seem very open-minded. You seem, you got a nice mix of traditional but modern forward thinking as well. Yeah. Where do you stand on the hoodie debate?
On the hoodie debate? Well, obviously you can tell by my the highlights of my hair, I'm probably a different generation to yourself, Ian. But I think I'm all for it. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Yeah. I think for me, at the end of the day, life, golf is just as life. It's about having fun. It's about being respectful. You've got to still, be respectful, which I think the vast majority of golfers are. But I think what you wear, as long as it's, I'll say, smart, I don't have any issue with that at all, Ian. I think any innovation is to be at least tried and supported. And as I say, sometimes it works, sometimes, but I think I have no issue personally. Whether I would look good in a hoodie playing golf, I'm not so sure. But I have no issue with that at all. I think it's a great idea.
Good man. I'm of the same opinion, I have to say. Look, Paul, before you go, I really appreciate your time today. Just quickly, where do you play your golf at the minute?
So I'm a member at a club called Beverley and East Riding Golf Club, which surprisingly is in the town of Beverley in Yorkshire, East Yorkshire. And it is unique, shall we say, because it's on the common land known as the Westwood in Beverley. And so it's governed by the old rules of the old pasture masters. and so they're allowed to graze up to 500 cattle on the common land, and so for about 5 or 6 months of the season, we have to share the golf course with up to 500 cattle.
Wow! So dodge the animals.
So all the greens have got fences and wires around them. Thankfully, they're not electrified. But having said that, it is a fantastic golf course. I'm bound to say, but it's a really good test of golf. So I'm sure anyone who hasn't played there, if they ever fancy a game, just drop me a line, and I'm more than happy to take them around the delights of Beverley Golf Club.
Well, I can tell I spent a lot of time in Yorkshire in my life, and I've never been to a bad golf club in Yorkshire. I can tell you that without a doubt. Paul, thank you so much for your time. Let's just before we do go, of course, anybody wants to get in touch with Paul, please do. What's the best way to get hold of you, Paul?
Probably the best way is just to go onto the website, golfinherald.com, and I've got a contact page. So they can just drop me a line on there. And as I said earlier, if anyone, any individual or any company, any organisation wants to have an article published, more than happy to do that free of charge, because it's all about promoting golf. Or they can DM me on Twitter, whatever. So yeah, that's probably the best way to contact me.
Fantastic. Please do. If there are any brands, any players, anybody just wanting to get a bit of exposure in golf or has a wonderful story to tell, I actually can't think of a better platform than Golfing Herald to tell it. So, Paul, look, enjoy the rest of your day, won't you? Thank you for coming on the show. We've got another cracking guest coming up next. Sports Alive are coming up very, very shortly. But we're going to go to a short break and get yourself a nice cup of tea, and we'll be back in a minute.
Hi, I'm Paul, and this is The Golf Show. sides. I can try it like that. That's even worse. I can try it with a snood, or I can try it like that.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I think 30 to 40 seconds might be a bit optimistic for me right now, but
I feel a bit like Jeremy Clarkson when he did that review of that Vauxhall Vectra at that time. No, seriously, what am I meant to say?
absolutely. And to illustrate the weight of the golf bag, as Phil said there, 10 to 12 kilograms, which is the equivalent of not 2, not 4, but 6 2-litre bottles of Coke. But as you can see there, got a little hole in that one already after just 4 rounds.
Oh, it's looking good. We've got a big club twirl.
Come on.
Here we go.
Oh!
4'10" when the pressure matters.
Yeah, look at my sock. You know, you can probably wring water out of it. Oh, it's a beauty.
I'll take that one. I nearly had a... Leave it on me then.
I was going to need a new camera. That was mega. I thought you finished. Sorry.
Right, everybody, welcome back to the Virtual Golf Show 2020. Wasn't that a fantastic session with Paul Fowler from the Golfing Herald? Big thank you to Paul there. Right, we have another very special treat. As you can see, I'm joined by the man himself, Pete Lowndes-Burt from Sports Alive. Now, Pete, some people say insurance can be relatively boring. That's not the case, though, with you, is it?
Well, no. We don't. Yeah. Anything but, I'd suggest. We try and steer away from the really boring stuff, and if we are doing the boring stuff, we try and add a little bit more excitement to it through some other channels.
Yeah, and look, please don't think I'm dumbing it down or anything, because actually insurance is vital. You can't operate a golf club without it. You can't operate any business without insurance. But you do some pretty cool things as well. Let's talk. If you're a player, for example, you're a golf player, let's talk player bonuses. Tell me about that.
Yeah, okay. So we offer various different player bonuses throughout different sports, but golf is one of the key ones that we do at a number of different levels, from sort of elite athletes through to sort of different other lower down professional golfers. So the idea being that was there's sort of two thoughts or two ways of doing it, really. One is you have a sponsor who says to you, okay, we'll sponsor you for the year, we'll pay you X amount of money. However, if you achieve a certain ranking or you win certain events, a major or whatever the agreed events are, you get a bonus. Now, the brand or the player can insure against that bonus being paid out. So the beauty of that is the company who are doing the sponsorship know exactly what their outlay is and what that sponsorship is costing them right at the beginning of the season. They, so their FD, their financial directors know what that sponsorship is, rather than sort of thinking, well, we could be on the hook for another £1 million, £500,000, £50,000 at the end of the season, if this person has a really successful season, they know they've paid the athlete or the player their sponsorship, and they've paid us the premium for the insurance, and then we look after the payment of those bonuses then for the rest of the season. And the beauty of that is like I say, if the player has a really good, successful season, those bonuses just keep being paid out because it's underwritten. And the sponsor doesn't have to worry about trying to find the funds elsewhere. And especially like 2020, where certain companies that after maybe deals have been signed, things have changed a little bit in terms of the finances. They don't have to find that extra money. So they could have a little bit of a bad year as a company, but still be able to pay honour their agreements with the athletes. The other way that it's being done is what some players are doing is they are selling their sponsorship as they normally do, and what they're saying to the sponsors are, and they're buying then a bonus for themselves. So they're saying, okay, we'll buy a policy that if we do really well, we'll get paid out. And what they're saying to their sponsors is, if we have a really successful season, you'll get all that extra branding, all that extra PR, all that extra exposure. However, we've bought this policy and we'll also give you money back on your sponsorship. So therefore the sponsors could potentially get more exposure for less money than they originally agreed to pay. So there's two ways of doing it. It's really, really interesting.
That is actually fascinating. Now, obviously, we broadcast a lot of live golf, as you know. We work with a lot of players who that might be quite an interesting route to go down. It's about backing yourself as a player, isn't it? If you back yourself to do well, take out a policy with you. What an interesting thing that is for sponsors if you're approaching them. That's got to be quite, if you are a business looking and a golfer approaches you and says, you're going to get some money back on this if I do well. Yeah, it's a no-brainer, isn't it?
Absolutely, and not only are you getting that extra exposure from their success, you're getting some of the money back, and it builds a really good relationship between the golfer and the brand, and hopefully a more long-term one. And it doesn't have to be big sums of money. It doesn't have to be in the millions of pounds. It could be a few £100s that they get back. It could be a few thousand. We can deal it at all different ranges really, and it's just a really different way to sort of, like you say, approach the sponsors and offer them something just a little bit different than just a logo here and some exposure on sort of social media. It's like, well, you can actually get something back. You're part of the team, as it were, and you share that success.
That is brilliant. Now, one thing, as you know, we work with tours. You work with tours as well. One thing we see a lot of is hole-in-one bonuses. I mean, look, you watch the BMW PGA at Wentworth. There's a BMW, isn't there? It's the par 3 is at 14th. Somebody might have to correct me on that. But the par 3, and there's a big shiny BMW there. And if you get a hole-in-one, you obviously win that BMW. Now, no doubt, BMW take out insurance for that. Now, we're not saying with some of the tours we work with, you might win a BMW, but there are cash prizes on offer. I know that, having worked with 2020 and Clutch, both tours tend to do a lot of nice little bonuses like that. That's something you can cover as well.
Absolutely, yeah. From the amateur golfer in a society day through to professionals, with in a major championship, we can cover that really easily. It's a really straightforward offer. We've also before now done it at events where it's a side event. So we've built a green. So we've been at an event where we've literally built a tee box and a green, and there's been a hole-in-one challenge at an event, which as an aside to the golf event, it's not even on the course. So there's all sorts of different weird and wonderful things that we can do with the hole-in-one. And like I say, from your club captain's days to winning a £10,000-15,000 car. And again, it's not huge amounts of money to sponsor to pay for that insurance. It's it starts at £99 for cover, and then obviously ranges up depending on what the prize value is and how many players are having a go at it, and the yardage of the hole, of course, because if it's a really short hole, it's a lot easier.
So let's give a bit of an example. Now, sorry to put you on the spot here, Pete. You weren't expecting this, but let's say we're doing a par 3, and it's a 120-yard par 3 or something like that. So relatively short, I suppose. And we've got 80 players in the field, and it's a hole-in-one. And if anybody gets a hole-in-one to win £1,000, how much would it roughly cost? We're not going to hold you to this, by the way.
Yeah. So
and it's an event like 2020 Pro Tour, so they are pro players.
Yeah, so pro players is slightly, the calculations are slightly higher because they're more likely to achieve that. But if you're probably looking at about 150-yard hole as a minimum, But you'd be looking at for a £1,000 prize, it'd be at the £99 range. If you're looking at an amateur competition, if you're looking at an amateur competition and there's a £15,000 car, so 160 yard hole with 100 amateurs playing, you're probably looking at about £300-400 for a £15,000 car.
Really? That's incredible. I thought it would be more than that, to be honest. So literally, for £1,000 on a 150 yard par 3 hole, roughly. Again, we're not holding you to this. There are a number of factors that will come into play, but we're talking rough ballpark figure. I could, as a tour, offer a hole-in-one prize of £1,000 and only have to pay £100 for it.
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty interesting. Now, anybody watching this, I know anybody at the tours I work with or any other tours or any golfing event at all watching this, please do get in touch with Pete if that sounds interesting, because it does sound very interesting. Run along the bottom, info@sportsalive.net. Do visit Sports Alive. The website is running across the bottom as well if you want to get in touch with Pete. It is worth doing because I can tell you from broadcasting as well, these types of things generate so much interest. And I can tell you as well, they offer a lot of value to the players as well. Yes, there's always prize money in professional tournaments, isn't there? And a lot of corporate events as well. I'm working with golfing days and there's prize money up for grabs in these things. But to offset it for a small amount of money, if somebody gets a hole-in-one, it's going to cost you £1,000. Or it could cost you £100. You know, even if nobody wins it, you've only spent £100. What have you lost, really? You know, nothing.
Yeah, we also deal with charities. They do, for the charity days, they do it, and you know, the other beauty of it is it does lend itself perfectly to a sponsor to pay for that fee as well. So if you didn't want to outlay that £100 or that few £100s, you'll probably find if you're buying your car from the local whatever dealer, they'll probably pay for it and bring one of their cars along and use it for the advertising. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, that is wonderful stuff. It's not just that, though, is it? I'm going to show you a little picture here, Pete, and it's quite funny, and we can have a bit of a laugh and a bit of a joke about it. Let me just make sure I click the right button first of all. Now, I don't know if you can see this. You didn't know this was coming up, but it says you're 150 yards from centre green. You're 175 yards from a $200 glass window. Choose your club carefully. Now, this sounds a little bit silly, but I've worked in golf for quite a long time now. And if you do break somebody's window or you hit somebody on the head and hurt them, you can be sued. That's right, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, 100%. Yeah, that can happen. And obviously there are products out there that we can assist with in terms of offering you a 12-month cover for your golf, which would include personal injury and also liability for injuring somebody else, theft of your clubs, hole-in-one, buying the bar bill, it'll cover you for your bar bill if you get your hole-in-one, and it's an annual policy that it has all that within it. So we can offer all that as well, both for the individual, but also what we've looked at doing, and we've done with a few golf clubs in the past, is we've built that cover into the membership. So within the membership, the club have a small extra amount of that membership cost, which goes towards all their members getting the bonus of having that cover in place automatically by virtue of being a member. It's another good angle for golf clubs to attract members, or another reason to join a specific golf club. If you've got a number of clubs in your area that you're trying to fit between, and one of them gives you this cover for free, why wouldn't you look at that?
Exactly. And in fact, actually, we need to talk, because a lot of golf courses, they have a captain's bunker, don't they, a little bit later on, and if you land in it, you normally have to put a couple of quid into a charity pot or something like that, and every round tends to cost me about 30 quid. So that might say more about my ability actually than anything else. Pete, you're a golfer yourself. Where do you play?
So, well, I'm based in Norfolk. So a number of the clubs around here I play at. So I don't know how well you know the area, but there's Dunstan Hall, Barn and Broom is another one, and Barbara. So they're the main ones that I play at around here. There's quite a few other good courses around here that I get to now and again. However, it's been difficult this year to get lots of rounds in and get a flow going, really. So my handicap hasn't come down any this year. I always promise myself my handicap's going to get into single figures by the end of the year, and it never quite happens. When I say never quite, it's nowhere near.
It's probably changed now with the world handicap system. Do you know what your new handicap is?
Yeah, I'm probably about somewhere between 18 and 20 at the minute, I'd say, sort of flickering around, because it changes really quickly, doesn't it? And you have a bad round and it can change. So somewhere between 18 and 20 at the minute. I've managed to get down to sort of low teens before now, but this year it hasn't quite happened.
Now, I didn't really want to talk COVID too much, but we kind of get away from it. It's been probably the most challenging year in the golf industry ever, shall we say. Yeah. And that sort of resonates with you. Have you seen a change in golf clubs or just insurance in golf? Is probably, have people been caught out? Because obviously COVID is so unprecedented. Nobody really knows what's going on. How does that affect the insurance game? Have companies been like, well, because of COVID, it's completely unprecedented. We don't, what's the safety measures is what I'm trying to get at. Can people insure and be safe,
Well, we've noticed a big drop off of the event on the event side, because the events haven't been taking place certainly over the summer, and we cover people throughout the world. So different regions in the world have had different rules and different ability to continue their events. In terms of covering for COVID, that's a really difficult one at the minute. The insurers or the underwriters are, trying to keep up with the game in terms of getting that cover incorporated into any sort of packages, or excluding it from other packages. It's the model is changing sort of more or less daily at the minute in terms of whether it is or isn't covered, and what you get is out of that. That's actually a great point. I think that was what I was trying to get at badly. Is COVID insurance a thing? Have I just made it up? I think you've probably made it up. It's because it's such an unknown, and because the impact of it is so great. It's a really difficult one for. I mean, I can't really speak on behalf of underwriters because we're a broker. But when we're sort of talking to the underwriter, it's a really difficult one, because they want to be able to put something in place to be able to give people that security net. But because the unknowns are so big, even now after we just don't know where we'll be in 12 months' time with it, do we? We're already talking about potential new strains of it or variations of it, and it's like I know yesterday that Holland went into a complete sort of war footing, really, and went with a 3 hours notice, pretty much locked the country down, and all but essential shops, everything else is closed. So we just, you just don't know where you can be in it, and with that unpredictability, it's really difficult then to put figures on it, being able to cover it. So at the minute, I don't think there is anything as such as a COVID cover. It's a really difficult one to sort of to nail, because the reach of it is so far, and there's so many unknowns with it.
I think that makes it even more important then that somebody comes and talks to you then, really, because if they've got any concerns or they're unsure about what they can insure, what they can't insure, do come and talk to you, because I know from experience, Pete, we know each other from motorsport. We're both heavily involved in motorsport together, that A, you're very approachable, and B, nothing's off limits.
No.
If you've got a question, it's all tailor-made. It's not just right, here you go, this is what it's going to be. It is, let's find out what the problem is, how we can solve it, how we can insure it for you to protect yourself, really. And I think that's wonderful, and I think that's really, really important. Just quickly, Pete, you said you're going to get your handicap down to single figures. That's obviously going to have to happen next year now, isn't it? Would you care to tell us quickly what's in your bag? What do you play?
What's in my bag? Oh, God.
6 to 20 handicapper, the same as myself. I want to know what you play.
What's in my bag? So I recently invested in the Cobra driver and fairway woods. So
brand new at the speed zones.
Yes. So which have they're good actually. They've come out really well. And I have TaylorMade irons. So they're a few years old now, so they're I can blame those, and just sort of a very old school ping putter, which has been very reliable for a number of years. So they're
the best ones though, the old school putters. Keep them long. You keep the one club you can keep forever, aren't they? Really.
That's right. Yes. Pretty
right. Pete, thank you so much for your time. I know you're a busy man. I know you've got lots to do. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. Just finally, best way, I know we've got information running along the bottom, info@sportslife.net, the website. Is there another way that people can get hold of you?
They can. They've got the phone number, so it's 01508 845 045. or direct myself at pete@sportsalive.co.uk. I'm happy to people to contact me direct, and I will try my best to help people out or advise them or steer them where maybe if I can't help them, where they can probably get what they need.
Fantastic. Right, that's Pete from Sports Alive. What a pleasure it's been. It's vitally important insurance. I can tell you, it is not boring at all, and it is a must. So do get in touch with Pete if you're a tour, if you're a player, whatever it is. There is so much that you can take advantage of. Right, we're going to go to a short break now, but when we come back, we're going to be joined by the loudmouth Aussie himself, Aaron Cox, the man from the Blackwell Grange Junior Academy. We'll see you very, very shortly.
Hi, I'm Paul, and this is The Golf Show. loads. I can try it like that. That's even worse. I can try it as a snood, or I can try it like that.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I think 30 to 40 seconds might be a bit optimistic for me right now, but I feel a bit like Jeremy Clarkson when he did direct view of that Vauxhall Vectra that time. No, seriously, what am I meant to say?
Absolutely, and to illustrate the weight of the golf bag, as Phil said there, 10 to 12 kilograms, which is the equivalent of not 2, not 4, but 6 2-litre bottles of Coke. But as you can see there, got a little hole in that one already after just 4 rounds.
Oh, it's looking good. We've got a big club twirl.
Come on.
Here we go.
Oh!
4'10" when the pressure matters.
Yeah, look at my sock. Oh. You know, you can probably wring water out of it. Oh, it's a beauty.
I'll take that one. I nearly had a... Leave it on me then.
I was going to need a new camera. That was mega. Sorry, I thought you finished. Sorry.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to the virtual golf show. And a big thank you to Pete Lowndes-Burt there from Sports Alive. A fantastic 20 minutes discussion that we had there, making insurance be exciting for a change. Now, as you the eagle-eyed viewers of you will notice, I've had a bit of an outfit change. And the reason is because I'm joined by a very special guest. Now, some say the man is a myth. He doesn't actually exist. I can tell you he does exist. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Aaron Cox, isn't it? Aaron, how are you, my friend?
G'day, Ian. How are you, mate?
I'm very well, pal. I'm very well. Now, today we're going to talk about the Blackwell Grange Junior Golf Academy, aren't we?
Yes, absolutely.
Now, you've been a busy man since coming over to the UK from Australia, haven't you? You've gone straight into Blackwell and you've transformed almost, haven't you, and created this massive junior academy. Just tell us a little bit about it, Aaron.
Well, I came to Blackwell in end of January 2019, so nearly 2 years ago now. And I got here and there's a very, very small number of kids and juniors around the golf club. There were 2 kids playing golf with handicaps. There were about 6 or 7, 8 kids getting weekly coaching. And it kind of just fell onto me to increase the junior section. It wasn't my main role, but I took it upon myself to create something for myself and to create something for the golf club long term.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, I'm going to show a quick picture here of the Blackwell Grange Junior Academy. As you can see, I've just moved that. You can see sponsored by Darlington. You've got a nice little sponsor there as well, Aaron. How did that come about?
Well, Liam McDermott from Darlington BM, he is a BMW mechanic in the local area, and he was actually getting lessons off me midway through 2019. That's how we met. And then I had obviously this idea of creating this big academy, but at the same time I was in the process of building my 6-hole junior golf course for the kids on a spare fairway. And it came to the idea, I thought, well, I want to put someone's name to it. And he was just beginning out in his franchise of his business, of his mechanical garage. And I went to him with this idea and I said, look, I want to put your name to the golf course, but I want to put your name also to the junior academy. This is what it's going to cost, but this is the exposure you're going to get. Do you want to get on board? He didn't even hesitate. He just went, yep, count me in. And he's been a great supporter, Liam, with the development of what I want to try and create with this academy. As I mentioned, I went from 8 kids and 2 kids on the course. And as of sitting right now in December of 2020, I have 105 kids per week getting golf lessons. And I'm now pushing on to 22 kids with official Congo England golf handicaps playing junior comps and junior tournaments and junior opens on the main golf courses.
That is incredible. And the reason I had this outfit change because this is actually the Blackwell Grange top, isn't it? Everybody can see that there. There it is. And you very kindly gave me this, didn't you? So so you must be doing quite well for yourself. Although you can't afford a razor, though, I can see that. Aaron,
I wanted to get the kids into some uniform and into some ownership of what they're in. So I had obviously Chinny Dipper is the company, and they're a great kids clothing company in the UK, and I got them on board, and then I got the logo made up, and I thought, well, this is what you guys are a part of, and let's give them something to wear. So now a majority of almost all the kids wear their shirts, and they've got jumpers as well with the same logo. So it's a bit of ownership and a bit of pride what they play.
So why, Aaron, why is junior golf important to you then? Why a junior academy? You're a very capable player yourself, aren't you? You've played professionally over in Australia. You play in the UK. Obviously, we know each other from the 2020 Pro Tour. So why junior golf?
Oh, look, I mean, obviously, I'm just like a bigger version of a kid. Some kids are actually bigger than me. So I'm just literally a kid myself, really, although I'm 35.
Good age, though. Good age.
But yeah, that's right. No, look, I mean, I've been playing golf since I was 3, Ian. So I've been playing golf 32 years. And I worked hard during my junior golf. I didn't have everything thrown to me. My parents were great to allow me to play golf, and I did a lot of other sports, but I always gravitated back to golf. And I think ever since I turned pro when I was 19, and then getting into when I was into my early 20s and going down the teaching route, and I started really getting into my teaching, I wanted to give back really all the things that I was given as a kid, although it wasn't much. I wanted to give back and then give back more. And now with this academy, it's like I'm giving back and I'm giving back 10 times more. And I'm seeing so much development and the swings and the game development and the mental development of these kids. And they're all between literally my academy, 105 kids, range between 6 and 11. So we're talking, we've got junior golf covered for the next nearly 10 years at this golf club.
I didn't realise there was that many kids in Darlington, but that's brilliant. Shows how much I know. Look, you make it exciting, don't you, as well? I'm just going to bring an image up here because let's just give the viewers a quick chance. this young man here, there's a green jacket on there, isn't there? You had your own Masters this year, is that right?
We did. We actually played it. So we actually played the US Masters, the Blackwell Grange Masters in July this year. That was July 4th. And obviously we're all under COVID situations and COVID rules. So we were very mindful of all that. Flags weren't touched, cards weren't swapped. But yeah, I had at all these tournaments, the original schedule was to play a tournament when the big PGA Tour events played. So that one there, the photo you took, yes, that was our Blackwell Grange. I actually went out and got a green jacket for the kids to actually play like the real thing. We play for the Players Championship. We actually have a claret jug as well, so the kids play for the Open Championship. And then at the end of the year, like the PGA Tour, we actually play for the Blackwell playoffs. And that's and then we have an Order of Merit series as well. So all 7 events, there's an Order of Merit. We have the playoffs, which is the end of season event, plus then the overall big trophy of the season. And it actually came down to our number 1 and number 2 players on the Order of Merit in the last event, the Blackwell playoffs event.
Nice. That's what you want.
To a 5-hole playoff, and whoever won that playoff would win the playoffs and win the Order of Merit.
Wow, that's incredible. That's what we want, isn't it? You know, we want juniors to sort of have that feel. You know, we can't protect people too much. You know, there's got to be a bit of pressure, haven't they? If you want to make it as a golfer or any professional sports, you're going to have to deal with pressure. Just so long as at junior level, it's done in a fun way, which it clearly is.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look, when we first started the tournament series, and again, I went back to Liam at Darlington BM. I said, look, I want to do these tournaments. Is there any chance you can kick a little bit more money in? He went, yep, no problems. And then so I created these 7 events and I scheduled them exactly when the PGA Tour games, the US Open, the Masters, the Players Championship, the Tour Championship, the playoffs. So I wanted to give the kids an opportunity to play for their big events themselves. But originally it was going to be over 2 days. So when we played the Players Championship in March, just before the first lockdown, we actually played it over a Saturday and Sunday. So the kids who went out on Saturday and then had the lead actually slept on that lead on Saturday night and then came out on Sunday with that lead. And I did a seeded draw for the second round. So the leaders all went out dead last. So, and then when we came back out of lockdown, we turned those 2-round tournaments and 2-day tournaments into a 1-day, 2 rounds, but 1 day. So I had the first round, they came in, I did the scores, I checked the scores, I'd put the cards into leaders order and a seeded draw, and then set the second round out an hour later. But the parents came out, the parents loved it. But it was also, I had to create something. All the lessons that I was doing and us as golf pros, all the classes we do, you've got to look outside the box. Okay, we're doing junior classes. Great. We've got a good junior section. Great. What are they practicing for? What are you wanting them to strive towards? Because we're not going to get 7, 8, 9-year-old kids mentally and physically ready and be able to hit the ball far enough to put them straight onto the main golf course. So that's why I was lucky enough. I went and built my own 6-hole junior golf course. They were ranged between 55 to 75-yard holes, but you're playing 2 rounds. There's 12 holes. You're playing more than half a round of golf on a main course. But what you're doing is you're teaching them about etiquette. You're teaching them about also mental stability, playing the shots, playing under pressure, as you said, Ian. It's getting their mindsets that these kids at 6, 7, 8, 9 years of age are getting into a routine that they can play competition golf, and all the classes then we keep continually to do week in, week out, that they go, once they play an event, go, well, I didn't hit my tee shots very well that day, or my putting wasn't great, or my chipping wasn't great. Then they come back to me and they give me a full analysis of their tournament. And I go, right, well, we need to do this, we need to do that. Okay, let's do that. All of a sudden, they're telling me, hey, I need help in this area. And all of a sudden, they're fixing those areas and they're getting more confident for the next tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is about progression. It's about growth. And we want to keep them in the game, don't we? What we don't want to do at this level is frighten them and scare them away from the game. Right. So we can't build for the future. I think what everybody really wants to do, Aaron, is end up looking like this, probably. I think that's the dream, isn't it? That was you and I at Cleckheaton, wasn't it? With the lovely Charlotte Ostwick there as well.
That was the bet that I did say to you. I challenged, and I did raise a bit of money for the NHS. We didn't quite get to that number that I wanted to, but I did say to you, we'll raise some money for the NHS, and I will wear the +4s at the first event. And true to my word, there I was, looking like an absolute clown.
It's a good job, actually. We didn't raise the money that we said we wanted to, because I think if you had to raise the money, you were going to play around naked, and nobody wanted to see that. I can tell you that. Aaron, very interesting question, and I think this might resonate with a lot of golf clubs up and down the country, is you obviously attract a lot of juniors into the golf club. How do you compete with sports like football and things that are very fast paced? You can just pick up a ball and go play down the local park. Golf, as we know, is a bit trickier, isn't it? How do you attract junior golfers to come and play, or just at least pick up a club for the first time?
Look, it really does. Look, and this is where I suppose the pressure comes onto us as golf coaches, is that it comes down to us, how fun we can make it, and how integrated and how included we can make these clinics and these golf lessons for the kids to say, hey, you know what? I actually quite enjoyed that. What I did was, I in very early 2019, when I first started, and again, I was like, well, how do I get kids? Well, what I did was I started emailing all the primary schools, and there's about 12 to 15, 16 schools around the Darlington area. It's just huge. Yeah. Like the amount of kids that are around this area. So I sent emails out, and then I didn't get many replies, or got very static replies. So I said, you know what? Me being Australian, you know me, I just take the bull by its horns. I hopped in my car and I drove to every school and actually took a flyer and said, you've had an email from me. I am in person here. I would like you to, and love for you to put this out to the parents of your school, because I'm offering you, and I dangled a massive carrot in. And that was 4 weeks, a whole month of free golf lessons.
Wow.
For the kids to come and try. So I wanted not just 1 week, not just 2 weeks, but to give the kids a whole month to allow me to give me time to get them into the game, see some progress. They see some progress, and then they go, you know what? I actually quite like that. I'm going to continue on. So that's what I did. I went to the schools in person. I sent the flyers. I got a few primary schools who were actually very, very helpful and very complimentary of what I was trying to achieve, and they sent it out. And when they sent it out, the email got sent out at 9 a.m. on a Wednesday morning, and I'll never forget this. It's quite remarkable, Ian. The email got sent out to the parents at 9 a.m. on this Wednesday morning. Now, I only advertised 15 kids for one class I wanted to try and create. I thought I'd go small to start with. Yeah. By midday that same morning, so 3 hours later, those 15 spots were full.
Wow.
By 3 p.m. that same afternoon on that Wednesday, I had created already a second class. That's 30 kids.
Wow.
By the time 9 a.m. on Thursday morning came, I had another full 15 class filled. I had 45 kids in 24 hours.
Wow, that's incredible. And it was just a bit of get up and go. Just get out there. Don't wait for it to come. Just go and do it.
I just went out there. I drove to these schools and said, look, I've sent you an email. Here's my face in person. I want this to happen. I want you to send this out to the kids' parents. I want to try and get some golf into your school. I want the kids to do something they can do both through summer and winter, and a bit more enjoy and have an enjoyable time, like football, like cricket, like tennis, but something different that they haven't had before. And I end up getting 45 kids. Yeah, that is now grown to now over 100.
Wow. And look, I'm going to show a couple of pictures here, Aaron, because people have a great time, don't they? Look, you can see a bit of hustle and bustle there. Obviously, all socially distant, but everybody having a good time. Here's another lovely picture as well.
Yeah, it's the kids on the main course getting ready for. They're the kids that went from the kids academy on the academy course to then went and got handicaps and moved straight into the main golf course playing in junior comps.
Fantastic. And another big smile here as well. There we go. Look at that. Fantastic stuff. Aaron, I must congratulate you, because I know we've worked together all year, and it's been an absolute pleasure. It really has. And I know we have a bit of a joke and laugh at times, that we take the mick out of each other and stuff, but what you do for junior golf really is fantastic. And I think a lot of people can learn a lot from this, because we do sometimes worry about the future of golf. Football's obviously football, isn't it? People will always get into that. Golf isn't in schools. Let's not kid ourselves. Golf just isn't in schools. But you're taking the ball by the horns and you're going for it and growing the game. And to have that in the area that you're at is absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely.
It really is. I mean, Darlington, by the way, it's a lovely place. I know the motor circuit, Croft is up that way as well, isn't it? So I know the area quite well. It is a lovely place. But to just raise the game and raise the profile really, really is magnificent. What does 2021 hold for the Blackwell Grange Junior Academy?
Well, it's going to be exciting because I've actually started moving into high schools now. So my program, I'm going to be pushing into high schools. And hopefully, when I was at high school, I actually went through a golf excellence program at school. So I actually did golf as a subject in years 10, 11, 12. And my goal since then, and then obviously now getting into junior golf and really starting to create something here, is to actually create a golf excellence program through a relationship with the high school. So I've actually got a high school on board, and they are actually looking at creating a relationship and creating a program that integrates the golf practice here during the range, the studio, the short game area, our golf course, but also then that leads us into nutrition, physiotherapy, biomechanics, the holistic approach to golf. And understanding breathing techniques, mental stability, when you're on the golf course management. So I'm hoping to take to the high schools and take these teenage kids and take them through a whole process using all these professionals from around in the industries that are associated with golf. And then obviously that's one exciting part, but obviously as well, continuing all the playoff, all the tournaments next year on the kids course. Obviously, I've had a big number of kids that have gone from the academy course and now are like saying to me, hey, Aaron, I want to go on the main course. So I've got now a number of kids that are going to be moving from the kids course and moving on onto the main golf course, playing junior opens, playing junior tournaments, representing Blackwell Grange. So to go from pretty much in February 2019 to it'll be probably February of 2021, it'll go from 2 kids on the main golf course to nearly 24. And obviously the kids in the academy from in February of 2019 with 8 kids to now, I'm hoping come February of 2021, up to 120 kids getting weekly classes, continuing the events on the kids course. We've got a full schedule of tournaments on the main course with the golf club, so the junior section. They're doing those, as I said, into schools. My program, I'm going to be actually with my junior academy classes, I'll be incorporating physiotherapy. So I'll be bringing physios into these classes or with certain classes to teach the kids more about their body dynamics, their bodies are growing, how they look after themselves, stretching. So mental fitness approach to get these kids of such a young age of 9, 10, 11, 12 years of age and them to learn all this well before what I learned when I was 16. So I learned all that stuff when I was 16, 17. I want to give them that opportunity at such a lot younger age to give them the full amount of tools that they can make a decision. Hey, I want to have a go at golf, or you know what, golf's going to be a great hobby and I'm just going to keep playing. I'll just play with the mates, and keep making myself better, but I'm not going to go to that next level. But so 2021 is going to be an exciting, and obviously myself with you, Ian, with the commentating, we've got a lot of great projects for 2021. It's going to be fantastic to get out there and behind the microphone as well with you.
Absolutely, Aaron. I was going to say, you never sleep, do you? It's fantastic. Now, Aaron, you're actually going to join me a little bit later this afternoon as well, aren't you? It will be a little content live golf. So just explain a little bit more about what we do. And obviously, Aaron, you're a big part of what we do as well. Aaron, again, thank you for everything you're doing for junior golf. Keep doing it because it is incredible. If anybody, I know you love to talk. I know you're such a font of knowledge and you're always happy to help people. If somebody wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way? If they want to have a chat about junior golf or about golf in general, really?
Look, Blackwell Grange Golf Club's up in the northeast, up in Darlington, and I've got the Blackwell Grange website, so blackwellgrangegolf.com. We've also got the email, blackwellgrangegolfacademy@gmail.com. So I'm here based at the golf club all the time. I'm here pretty much 6 days a week. So I'm always here answering questions. Junior golf, professional golf, lessons for all ages, always available.
Fantastic. Right. Well, Aaron, thank you very much. That actually rounds out our Thursday morning session. Thank you to the 2020 Pro Tour. Thank you to Golfing Herald. Thank you to Sports Live. And, of course, Aaron, thank you as well. Aaron, you'll be joining us a little bit later this afternoon as well. We're going to go to a short break now. We'll be back at about 2 o'clock. You won't want to miss this. We've got the Legends Tour coming up. Oh, that is going to be good, isn't it? We've got National Club Golfer. We have Paul Hemlin and the Golf Show, and myself and Aaron will be back as well. Go have a nice little lunch, and we'll see you all back at 2 o'clock. It's the Virtual Golf Show.